Hi.
Hello, hello.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Thanks for
everybody.
joining us on Christmas Eve.
Are you ready? Is
Oh,
everything ready at your house?
of course. I'm with my in-laws. I'm with my sister-in-law, so I don't know if she'll be ready. This is a pre-recording, guys. We are pre-recording this for you, so you can join us on 24th here, and we have some fun projects prepared for you. I had a last-minute project. What do you have?
I have, if you're planning on decorating gingerbread, I have some last minute kind of just tweaking so your decorating will be, and you'll have everybody, oh my God, did you make those?
I'm gonna be working with. You can see I've got my hand all colored with red, so I'm gonna jump right into it. Also, I wanted to say thanks for joining us. Let us know where we are watching from, and what are you making for Christmas Eve?
Yes, tell us
All
everything.
the
We want
food
to
stuff. I
know.
want to know what you guys are eating. All right, so I already started on this because it required some mixing, and you can find this recipe on the blog. This is a cookie dough for candy cane cookies. I'm sure you've seen those twisted cookies online. They seem, kind of intimidating, but they really are not. They're super easy. So what I've got here is sugar cookie dough. This cookie dough needs to be. This is freshly made. I made this 5 minutes ago. So you can see it's pretty soft. It's not a firm. It's very kind of almost a little sticky. So that is how it should be. Okay. Um,
Like
I'm
Play-Doh?
going to. Yes.
Is it like Play-Doh consistency?
Yeah, I guess. I guess. I mean, what I like to do, I like to weigh the dough once it's done made, and then divide it in half, and then color one with red. Okay, you can also do different color if you want to do a different color. Now, instead of refrigerating them like this, or you can flatten it into a disc, I'm going to go ahead and measure. This is about, I'd say, 1 tablespoon, maybe a little over 1 tablespoon. And I'm gonna measure 1 tablespoon, and I'm gonna drop it on to, I've got some trays here. So you can drop it on there, and then we can chill this, and it's going to take less time. Otherwise, you have to chill it for about 3, 4 hours, and then you can pop this in the freezer for maybe 15 minutes, and it will be ready for you. Okay, I have some already in the freezer. Do you have your favorite cookie scoop? Did you use?
I have actually several favorite cookie scoops. I love my cookie scoops. I have
Yeah,
a giant one for cupcakes,
yeah.
and then I have three sizes for the cookies.
You know, they are really hard to find. Like good ones are really hard to find. What brand is yours?
I bought it at a restaurant, kind of like supply store,
Okay.
like commercial kitchen place. So it didn't have a brand, but
Okay.
they are,
But it's very like heavy duty. Because
oh
usually
yes,
what I have trouble with that the um,
yes.
coil gets either missed, whatever, it jumps out or something.
I use it to make meatballs.
Oh yeah. Do you ever use it for the intended use for the ice cream?
No, but
I mean, does anyone
I
actually
don't
use
find it
it
does a
to
great
make
job
ice
with ice
cream?
cream. I have a different ice cream scoop that's just like a spoon, kind of, but it's like pointed, so that you can kind
Yes.
of. I don't find it's amazing with ice cream, but it's fantastic with cookie dough and cupcake batter
Yes.
and meatballs.
That I agree. Meatballs. Well, that
Well,
does make sense, but I've never used it with meatballs. It does make sense.
I bake my meatballs.
So you don't then shape it at all? Do you just
No,
use
I
it?
scoop it right on the cookie sheet on parchment
Yeah.
paper like a cookie, and I leave the flat side down because so they don't roll around, and then I bake them, and it's perfection.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any fun uses for the cookie scoops instead, other than cookie making? So now you can kind of cover it loosely and then stick it into the freezer or fridge if you.
Well, it's great because they're all
Oh,
exactly.
I'm so,
Oh yes, I understand.
I'm so. So you have to now. I'm so not thinking ahead. So if you only have one cookie scoop, make sure you do the white dough first, okay, and then go to the red because now I have to wash this guy.
Maybe
So I'm
you
not going to be
could wipe
washing
it
it.
down.
I'm going to.
Maybe you could wipe it down with a paper towel.
Yeah, I guess if I had a paper towel on hand, yes,
Oh.
that is true. Oops, I will. Oh, I have some kind of a towel here. Let's see.
So the cookie scoop makes pretty cookies, but it also is helpful with the baking because your cookies are all like relatively the same size. And so on your cookie sheet, everything's going to bake evenly. So that's the other.
What I like to do, I actually use the cookie scoop to make the loft house cookies.
Oh,
And
yes.
I like using it for chocolate chips because then I can freeze it like that, which is
Yes,
great.
exactly.
So okay, so I think this is going to work. So now we're going to do the white dough.
So did you find that coloring? So you didn't let it sit like that's what I'm wondering if.
No, I didn't let it sit. I mean, from my experience, the cookie dough takes on the color best when it's right after it's made.
Oh.
Once it's chilled, I feel like, and I think you had said the similar thing that it kind of behaves funny. It doesn't take on the color as well. I think it's probably like the butter is chilled and it's like, you know.
Well, I'm talking about, like when we let the colors kind of intensify over.
Oh no, I did not. No, I added the color and I didn't let it sit or anything, but it will sit in the fridge for a little bit.
So this is the other problem some of you might be having right now. The fridge is so full with, different things because it's Christmas. And then you need to, fit one more thing in there. But what's great, if you live in a cold area, you can just put it outside.
That's what I love doing because it was like everything was outside. Yes. Do you do that? Can you do that? Because some people probably have critters around or I don't know.
Yeah, but if, depending, like let's say a big pot with a cover, I'd put it just to cool down, outside on the step outside the back.
I do that too. Even even here in Spain, it will get cooler. Today is quite warm, I have to say, and like unseasonably warm, I feel like. But I used to do that as well.
But don't forget it outside, or else it's going to be a frozen solid.
No, yes, that is a problem if it's freezing. Yes, agreed. All right, I'm almost done. And this recipe uses butter, granulated sugar. If you have used cake flour, if you don't, you can just use all-purpose. It also has cornstarch.
Did you make them?
I also added, these are candy canes, so I added vanilla and also peppermint extract.
That's what I was, yes, that's
Yes, it smells amazing. I wish you could smell it if we had smell-o-vision. All right, so I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna put it in a fridge and I'm going to take the ones that are chilled and I'll show you how to shake them, okay?
Are you bringing these with you to?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
So these, the dough, could you shape to make instead of a candy cane, maybe a heart for Valentine's Day? Since
you could do that. You could actually. I was thinking of doing lollipops.
Because those are Valentine's Day colors, and it's the next
unusual setup for me. I have my camera a bit high. So these have been chilling for a little while. You can see. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll it. Hopefully it's not too cold. Oh, and I need a little bit of flour. Just a second. Because this is going to get a little sticky. It's better to roll it out on flour.
One of the things I do when I'm handling dough like this that I want to keep chilled, I actually leave it on a super chilled cookie sheet. So the metal stays cold a bit longer.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Your stuff
So I've got here some flour. I'm just going to loosely dust it. Roll up my sleeves.
Ideally, you don't wear a black shirt when your hands are covered in flour and you go like that. Then you're.
No, but we want it to be a little festive now for the.
I know. I'm just saying, like the bakers always have handprints on themselves.
Well, I have all my aprons, and I bought aprons. I have a lot of aprons. I don't know if you wear a lot of aprons, but I mean, I wear an apron around the house constantly. So I have black aprons. So I have to change them every day. So I've decided that I need to roll it to about 8 inches. This is going to make one giant candy cane. Okay. So that's about there. I mean, it's not perfect. You can see I'm not very good at shaping things into snakes.
So I guess you could also, if you wanted to have a smaller version,
Oh yeah,
you could make little peppermint like candies. You know, like kind of roll it like a peppermint candy.
Oh, like
in a circle.
In a circle.
Could you?
Do you mean like a lollipop?
Well, it's kind of ish. It's kind of twirl the color. I just mean because like at Christmas, there's just so much that if you can get
rolling the way. It's a little too cold.
It's a little too cold.
Yes, I don't know which one you mean. Do you mean the round ones?
Yeah, the ones that are like peppermint candies that we see.
How would I roll it this way? How would I do it? Can you come and tell me? Okay, so these are two ugliest snakes you've ever seen. Now I'm going to. You can use water, but since I will be brushing them with egg wash anyway, so I'm gonna be using egg wash. Just a little glue. It just helps. So this is egg wash, and I'm using a pastry brush. I'm just gonna brush one of these guys a little bit.
So is it just the egg white there that I saw?
Yes, it's egg white. And I actually used a fork to break it up. Because you know how egg white is kind of it sticks together. So you want to kind of.
It's like a big booger.
Break up that. What?
It's like a big booger.
Yes. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Oh no! Are you kidding me? This is not going to work now with these guys.
I'm having technical difficulties.
I am.
So what are you guys eating?
This is not going to work this time. What?
I'm asking them what they're eating for supper for Christmas Eve.
Okay, so you want to twist it and then boom, there, your candy cane. Now, ideally, like this is too cold to roll it out, so I'm going to transfer it here on the baking sheet. But hopefully these guys will be.
Let me ask my question again, Hannah. I'm going to ask them again. So what is it that you guys do for Christmas Eve? Like Christmas Eve, some people open their gifts Christmas Eve. Some people just like visit with family and then wait for Christmas morning. What's your family tradition? What do you guys like? What's the routine?
Let us know in the comments. Well, we actually, to answer your question, I grew up opening presents. We would go to church 5. And then we would open, we would have, after church, we had dinner, and then we would open gifts on 24th. And 25th, we would go to my grandma's.
Was there more gifts at your grandma's?
Of course.
That's nice.
Yes. I think I know, but I think I know what you're doing, but can you tell us?
So on the 24th, there's a lot of French Quebecois people that wait till midnight to open the gifts. So they stay up till midnight, and then at midnight.
At midnight? Oh, I like that. That's a nice...
In theory, it's maybe, but when you have young children, it's not so fun. The kids are tired, and it's like a weird. I never.
So how did that come about?
I'm sorry.
How did that come about, that tradition?
I don't know. Like, I am part French, but I don't adhere to that. I always, and when I had my kids, I just didn't find that it was as pleasant as putting them to bed on the 24th. Like, they were young, they would go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then they'd wake up at the crack of dawn, and they were fresh, and then they could play with their toys. Whereas, Christmas Eve, if you stay up till midnight and 1 second, well, you open your present, but then you have to go to bed. You open your present that you can't play with. So kind of a weird tradition.
Open a present you can't play with. Okay, when you put it like that, really weird tradition. Okay, so now this one is working better because it's not as stiff.
Yes, that one looks. That,
Now
the
it
other
shouldn't
one's a
be
bit.
super. It shouldn't be super soft either. It should be, So then you see how easy that is,
Yeah,
and then
very.
you transfer it onto the baking sheet.
This looks like it could be. Could kids do this?
I think so. They could do the rolling part. I think. I mean, it's not that difficult.
I mean, if they can play with
And
Play-Doh.
then they could also brush it with the egg wash and then sprinkle. We're going to sprinkle it with some sugar. I've got here vanilla sugar, which I love, and then some coarse sugar, which is going to create like nice like crystals on the top, which is kind of very festive.
So yeah, so we always opened Christmas morning. The kids would wake up. The limit, I set a limit, like you can't get up at 5 a.m. I think I told them they couldn't come and wake me up till like 7. Then of course they'd be in the room at 7, and then they could open their presents.
Wow.
Hey, here's a question for everybody. If you have a pet, do you buy a Christmas present for your pet? I actually just gotten the gifts from my dog, Daisy.
Yes, what did you get?
She's getting older, so I got her something for her, like treats for her joints, and I got her some doggy breath mints because she has.
They have doggy breath mints. Okay, let us know if you have a pet and what is your pet's name in the comments. I am dying to know.
Yes, and
your,
so
your
and
Daisy, your Daisy.
her,
did you name her Daisy or did she come named Daisy?
No, Jessica. My daughter Jessica named her. And I got her a stuffed pig because she likes furry things. She doesn't like plastic toys, and they have to squeak. So it's a squeaky pig.
How long does it take her to, kind of kill the toy?
She's actually quite gentle. She opens her own presents. She knows, and she opens her own presents.
How does she open her present? Do you pack it? Do you actually wrap it?
I just wrap it in the paper, and she rips it and is excited. And then she's like, she knows. She seems to know. Like she's 10, so she knows. Oh, yeah, I'm getting a present, and she knows what to do. Very nice. And she even poses for the picture we take. We always take a picture with the timer. She even poses for the picture.
Well, she's part of the family, so that's fun. Yeah. That's kind of cute. Do you have any traditions with your pets, guys?
I mean, pets.
You know what I love? I love when a dog has when they put the antlers on them or something.
Yes,
kind of
yes.
Cute little
yes.
holiday. Do you ever put sweater on Daisy?
Well, I actually bought her a sweater. She's going to have her appointment. Since this is pre-recorded, she's about to have her appointment to get trimmed. And so it is a bit cool after, she gets her fur off.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So I got her a little sweater. She was due for a new one. So that I'm not probably going to wait for Christmas to give it to her because she'll need it before. Yeah. I find that she gets cold more as she's aged.
Well, don't we all?
Yes.
I think it's yes. Well, that's how I feel. I'm always cold. Anyway, so this is how you can shape the candy canes, and this could become your family tradition. It's last minute kind of. Maybe you could make these for Santa.
That's
for
nice.
Santa. Have it as a tradition.
That's
something to do with your kids.
That's a cute idea. I like that. I like the traditions. Here's one that I started, and I tell people they think it's a good idea, but so on the 25th, when you wake up and you open all the gifts, we always save one gift, we've named it the after dinner gift, because once the Christmas is over in a flash, right? Like we get everything ready, and so. Then you have your turkey dinner, and what do? Maybe you play games or stuff. So we always save a gift for after the turkey dinner, after dessert. We all go in the living room and open one last present.
Oh, each of you?
Yes.
And you get to choose which gift, or any?
we set like the person who gives it kind of knows like that'll be the after dinner gift. It's like it's not a super big gift. It's just like a little something to
That's
just
nice. I like that tradition.
stretch Christmas out a little bit.
Do you always have? We used to go to our friend for Christmas in the States, and um, there was always different food for Christmas, always. So, do you guys have tradition that you always serve the same food every year? That it's like for example, you said turkey, but do you like? Is there like a specific, maybe a family tradition that you
I mean,
always
it's
make?
the classic, the turkey with the cranberry sauce that has to come from a can. But recent, like what it's been now 3 years that I'm vegetarian with my daughter, so that's changed things a little bit, having to introduce kind of like, you know, a turkey replacer, if you will, like to have some,
Okay.
you
Oh,
know.
what do you do?
Well, last year I had made, I think, some like a vegetarian chicken pie, but like, you know, just vegetables basically, and a like a you know like a chicken like a that's it, like a chicken pie.
So you're really good at doing the vegetarian stuff. You always come up with
Oh, you
like
have to
really cool
experiment and find.
ideas.
Yeah, I find that it's easier to start completely like from scratch, and instead of trying to like replace meat in your old recipes.
Oh, yes. I see what you mean. By the way, this is, I don't, maybe somebody will be able to tell us in the comments. Is that true that Canada is running short on maple syrup?
It is
We've just heard that. I was like, how is that even possible? And they said there was some kind of that you have a
a reserve.
reserve, and that a lot of it was stolen.
Yes,
I don't know when. I don't know when, but
there was a big like they were supposed to make a movie actually about it, and then we never saw light of that movie. They were going to explain, like they were going to reenact it or whatever. It was like such a crazy story. The guy stole the maple syrup, replaced the barrels, he put water in it, replaced the maple syrup with water.
But how can someone's like? How do you? I mean, what do you do if you can't just like? How do you sell that amount of maple syrup?
Well, that's it. A lot of people ended up getting caught because they were the resellers, and they thought like they were taking the barrels at the back of the reserve, thinking nobody would ever find out. And so, interestingly, if I'm not mistaken, how it came out is the barrels were rusting because of the water. Whereas when they're filled with maple syrup, they don't rust.
Oh, they don't rust. Oh,
Anyway,
interesting.
and so with there's so much health consciousness and different things. I think that's what's played into the maple syrup. It's grown in popularity as a healthy sweetener option. Yes. And then I think also the Asian market discovered it and liked it, and so there's just been a
very popular here. You can find it. It's not so. I guess it's not so popular here. But what I've heard is that the United States are the biggest consumers of.
Well, one of the things I remember is they would label the maple syrup saying that it was Vermont maple syrup when in actuality it was from Canada. I mean, if you just how maple syrup comes. Oh, is that going into the oven?
Isn't this nice? So yeah. I would actually recommend sticking it into the fridge for a little bit. But what I'm going to do now, remember I told you about the sugar, so you don't have to do the sugar, but I really like the addition of it. It looks so pretty. And I've got these fancy.
Oh my, those are nice.
Aren't these beautiful? These are from one of the viewers.
Beautiful.
From June. Yes, aren't they beautiful? So this is coarse sanding sugar. It's not the same as.
So it's decorative. Yes.
Decorative. You can see the crystals are significantly larger, and this is great for coating your cookies.
And did you find in Spain?
No, this is from US. Dutch treats. This is from Amish market. What I've got here is vanilla sugar. When I coat my ginger snaps that you like, I like to add some vanilla sugar because it just adds some nice, flavor.
I saw it at we have like kind of a European store, and they have the Dr. Utker vanilla.
Oh, it smells really good. Okay, so now we're just going to stir this up. So, and then take your egg white. You could also use, I think, if you don't feel like breaking an extra egg. Oops. You could spray it with a little bit of water and then add the sugar. That's what sometimes I will do, but I think this is going to work better because it just sticks better.
I would worry with the egg, and I might be wrong, but that it would cause browning.
No, it didn't. It actually didn't.
Oh no!
I mean, you don't want to go heavy on it because if you have full of an egg white here, it will become scrambled. It will cook. So you don't want that. And this is something kids can do as well. I did actually refrigerate these for about 5 minutes before I baked them, after I added sugar. But these seem to be pretty firm, and we'll see what happens if we stick them into the oven right after.
That granulated sugar always adds such a nice touch. It's not a expensive decorating thing, but it goes a long way, I find, for the aesthetics.
Yes. And you could use, I suppose you could use colored, but then you would lose the whole.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like it.
All the work you did with the colored dough.
Yeah, this is better. And it gives also a little crunch.
Yes, that's what I like, the little crunch. Okay, so these go in the oven. I do have some that I already baked, so I'll show you those. But I will put it in the oven before I do that, okay?
And back onto the maple syrup, you can actually get the maple syrup, like little particles like that you can sprinkle on stuff. That's yummy.
Oh, I remember that is the stuff you sent me.
I had sent you, yes, a few different products. Well, they've really now they've got a super fine sugar that's maple sugar.
You had sent me maple syrup flakes. Oh, that was awesome. That was fantastic. I'm just setting a timer, folks.
They were nice on muffins or different things like that.
It was amazing. Amazing. So I'm going to set it to 8 minutes. Okay, it's at 355. And these are the baked ones that I baked. Some of them are a little smaller because I was doing different sizes. But this is the size. These
that
are
one's perfect.
Today.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to remember, once you take them out of the oven, make sure that you kind of let them cool completely before you remove them, okay? Because they need to
set up,
cool, and then once they cool, they are firm enough for you to remove them. You see the sugar adds a really nice touch. It shimmers, and like Mar said, it also adds a little crunch. And you could make these in different sizes. I mean, who says that you can't? If somebody doesn't want the whole, this big candy cane, they can just take a small one.
And I think also you could probably do a green snake in there.
Green, yes, as well. You could do green. And what's also good, you could put this, if let's say in the morning, you're serving hot cocoa or something, you could put
yes, that'd be so cute.
So that's very cute as well.
Super cute.
So that is my project for today. And you can find the full recipe. It's on the blog. Along with all the details and tips and tricks. And I use this this one broke.
Here's a question for you guys. What's your go-to Christmas cookie? What is the cookie that you guys make for Christmas? What's the must-have on, let's say you have only time to make one cookie. What's the cookie you're making? And so now it's my turn.
Yes.
Today, I'm actually in the last minute. It's last minute, so I'm using a cookie mix. So Anita's is a Canadian company, British Columbia. and they make organic kind of products, flours, and different things. And this is their gingerbread mix. The instructions said to add milk. I completely skipped it. I didn't. I just added, it's molasses and butter. That's all I added. You don't even have to add an egg.
So you bake them? You have them?
Eh?
Did you bake them?
I did. And so I rolled them out and I chilled it when it was rolled because it was like kind of soft. I chilled it, rolled, then I cut them and then I froze them before baking, and they baked very nicely. You can see the shapes held very well. So I'm making.
How many cookies did you get from the? Oh, it's so cute. How many cookies
probably
did you
got
get?
30, but they're not that big there, but 30. And so I'm making kind of, so the point of this today is if you guys are planning on making some cookies that you want to decorate and you just want to up your game, I'm going to give you some tips. Okay, so we're going to decorate and we're going to talk about one of the things. Oh, I'm going to go this way. So one of the ingredients we don't talk about in royal icing. So royal icing is powdered sugar, water, and meringue powder. Some people put cream of tartar. But the thing that we don't talk about that goes into royal icing is air. So the royal icing is whipped and the air can cause problems. And so if you over whip, in the case of like this type of project, well, I'm going to zoom in here and you're going to see when you try to liquefy the cookie, the icing so that it will heal, you're going to get little holes like that. And that is just too much air in the icing. It's been whipped too long. So then when you're trying to add water to make it more fluid, well, there's no, the way I've described it in the past, like there's no backbone. It's got nothing left. It's just floppy because it was air. Now, you know, so if you don't over whip, well, then it's more kind of like sugar. The egg white helps it dry, but you're not left with this whole business. And that's kind of one of the key reasons why I tend to work with a thicker icing. I find that I don't end up having these types of issues. So we'll start with, here, let's do the face. So when a cookie comes out of the oven, if you're new to baking, the cookie fresh out of the oven is hot. Well, it's pliable. And so you can take, I have a ball tool it's called, but you can take actually an M&M that, you know, and just press it in and you'll get this little dent. And so if you're not that artistic, or maybe you're new to this thing, it'll help you, the icing will sink into that hole. It won't get everywhere. So it's just an added little thing and it'll help you to get your decoration a bit kind of more perfect. So that's one little thing that you can do. And these are just round cookies. You can cut that with a glass. You can cut that with a cup. You don't have to have cookie cutters. It's one of those shapes that's forgiving.
You know what also works is the what's it called, the lid, the ring of like on a
oh yes, a pickling jar, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So food color. You can do it all in white. I obviously have gear, so I've made black. I've made red for the nose. And if you're going to add things like jelly beans or candies, again, you want to kind of use one of those. It'll probably get messed up because of the heat of the cookie, but to press in, because if, let's say here, I've got some M&Ms, and just to show you, so here's my little gingerbread man. And because I've got these little holes, well, the M&Ms are just going to fit nicer into the, like, to secure onto the cookie. But if I put them in the oven to bake, they melt, they crack, and they come out looking not so nice. If that's not an issue for you and you don't mind that they're melted and a bit rustic looking, but if you want them perfect, you just have to.
They usually do crack.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's it. It's all, you know, it's all aesthetics. But if you want it to be picture perfect, Pinterest perfect, that's a little trick for you. Okay, here, let me just, I'm trying to figure out.
How did you make the holes? Did you?
This is a ball tool, so you know.
Or you could use the back of the wooden spoon, or.
Oh yes, the end of the wooden spoon.
I mean the end. Sorry, the handle.
That's a good one. Yes. So now I'm adding a wiggly line like a crown on it. So here's this tipless piping bag. And I guess you could use the corner. Han used to do the corner of a Ziploc bag. And so I'm going a lot of pressure because I want the line to be fat, and slow because I want it to be chunky here. But I didn't cut a super big hole because I need the line to be small for other elements. And once the hole is cut, that's it. So that's kind of the way to get a fatter line without having to, cut a big hole. So now I'm adding the eyes. So I'm just adding some black icing, and you can see gingerbread is very dark in color, and so the black doesn't really do much with regards to like color. It doesn't make anything kind of punch, but I do like it as an outline. So I've added that black, and then right inside of that I come in and pipe in the white, and then it gives you like an outline on the eye very quickly.
I'm just gonna check on the cookie, sorry.
Okay, and then while it's still wet, now I'm adding the pupil at the bottom here, and you can see it gives it kind of like a cartoony eye. And it's easier to inject the icing and let it expand than try to draw a circle. So if you let the icing kind of grow, you just stay in one spot and you squeeze, 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 it will expand. And that's easier to do than trying to draw a circle. It will give you a more perfect circle. And now here I've got some pink. I use actual pink food gel to make the pink. I find that using a little bit of red instead to make the pink, it looks kind of like not a nice
It's
color.
never a nice pink when you're making red. When you use the red, no, I find it's.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I prefer using pink instead of red to pink to make.
If you can only
if you don't have anything else, you can use that. No.
Yeah, but if you have to choose between which one to buy, then just get the dark pink. And worst case, you'll have a dark pink nose and pink cheeks. It's nicer than having kind of like sickly red. And now the nose here, I'm just doing a little like jelly bean. And then
this reminds me of like old-fashioned gingerbread.
And there's his smile. And that's it. There's the little gingerbread man. So if you find that your icing is cratering, you see here, my white is stiffer. And so this is what I call structural icing. So this was piped a little bit earlier, so it's a bit dry, and we're going to do the same thing now again. So I'm doing the crown across. And if you find your line isn't fat enough, well, you can go back into it and fatten it up. And now again with the eyes, I'm putting the black in. And if you want it to be kind of more girlish, you can add some lashes, and you just have them coming out like that, you see? So you release the pressure before you know you want it to end, and that will let it taper. So now in that, I'm injecting the white, and it expands. You see, I'm staying in one spot. It makes the dot bigger. And now I'm just going to fiddle with it a little bit with, you can use a toothpick. I have this needle tool, but you can use a toothpick. It'll do the same job. And then I'm adding the pupil. And I'm just jiggling so that it sinks in there. There, and you see, because I have that little indentation in the cookie, and you have to do that when the cookie is even, like I did it before it was completely baked, because there is a point where the surface cracks. So you want to do it while the cookie is still a little bit kind of raw-ish. So now I've got my kind of like structural elements, and I'm coming in on top of that to do the nose. And so because I have this stiffer kind of hard icing under there, well, it will help with regards to those craters, those holes that you saw earlier.
I love the eyes. I love it.
And there's a little bit of the pink right on top of that white dot, and you can kind of like spread it. and it'll drip off of the dot, and you'll get like a more kind of a puffy look. That's all the rage, is the puffy kind of icing, you know, something that's more dimensional. And there's, if you say you don't like royal icing, well, there's not a lot of royal icing on this. You can add, what flavors do you like to add in your gingerbread? Like when you're doing, is it lemon hand you like to add?
And the gingerbread, when I'm making gingerbread, what I like to pair with, what kind of flavor royal icing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really, really like lemon, but I also like chocolate.
Oh, how do
If
you
I
do that?
if you're using brown, like brown, or if you have like chocolate flavoring, but usually lemon. I really like lemon. It pairs nicely with the spices.
So you see this, it's a little bit more fiddly, but if you're getting the craters, that's kind of the fix. So there's the kind of girl. I'm just going to turn because I can't see from my, I'm on this side. I'm just going to bring
So my,
down.
my cookies are done. So it was about 10 minutes or something like that. So now I'm just gonna let them cool.
That's it. Everybody's oven is different. So just you, if you're making those cookies, keep an eye on them.
Yes.
Because you can sometimes think, oh, it's going to, and then you get a little surprise. Right? So there's my little gingerbread couple. Here you can see the one with the lashes, but they're not even that visible. But anyway. And then I just want to show you this version. I've seen a lot of on Pinterest people using like the drip on the top of the head. So I'll just show you how to do that. So you're just with the same icing, you're just kind of doing drips across the head like that. And then while it's wet, you want to sprinkle that with your sprinkles. If you want to talk about icing or sprinkles that are not too bad on your teeth, these are nonpareil, they're called. They're just little
balls.
Yeah, little balls. They do tend to get everywhere. If you have one of those big coffee filters, they bounce less on that than on this tray. This tray is great, but for the nonpareil, they really like literally go everywhere.
But they're easily sourced out now. They should be everywhere. And yeah, look for the sales right after the holiday sales for the sprinkles.
Get some red ones for
Valentine's Day. Yes.
So my little nose again, and you can see like it's super fast. You can run through.
You love your jelly bean. Your noses, they really look like small jelly beans.
Well, it looks, I find it suits the face.
Yes.
So here's without the black. So I'm just gonna, without the black initial, you know, the initial line. So I'm just gonna do the pupil, and we'll see the difference if it's worth the hassle. So there. And then I did add a reflection. I didn't mention it, but so now I'm just tapping the surface of the icing for it to self-level. And then I'm just squeezing barely, and I touch the black section, and you get a little reflection. So again, here, the smile. And the cheeks, I've seen also people doing little hearts. That one didn't turn out on this side here, but there. So let's see the eyes difference. You know, I don't know if the black is really worth the extra effort. I do like the little hearts on the cheeks. So the hearts on the cheeks, it's just 2 dots that you kind of like start, and then you pull and it tapers, and then you do them next to each other and you get a little heart. All right, that one. So I like on the gingerbread man that they have a colored button. So you said,
I was wondering what this was. Is this icing, or is this M&M covered in icing and then sending sugar?
No, it's icing. It's just icing. So the Gingy from the movie, you know, my gumdrop buttons. So it looks like gumdrops. So and it's another way of not having to color icing is you buy colored sanding sugar. So the colored sanding sugar, I really like it. Sanding sugar has a great for bite. It's nice.
Yes.
Shine.
And it hides things.
And it hides things, and it's not expensive.
Yes. So you can get, I mean, any color you want. But if you had to choose one color, to go for white.
Yes, for sure. White.
If you had to choose just one color, go for white. But they come in such a great range of colors. I mean,
so you see here, it does stick because there's butter, there's fat in this cookie. So the sanding sugar doesn't just fall off like it would on a royal icing surface. But you see here, I just have a little paintbrush and I'm just dusting off the remnants. And
have you ever tried coloring your sanding sugar?
No.
No, me neither.
No. So you want to do this the first step. So then you see it did stick a bit to the cookie, but I could come in and wipe it. If you have other lines of icing on there, well, then it will stick.
You know what it reminds me? It reminds me of a jewel. Like when I'm looking at it now, it literally looks like a jewel, the buttons.
Yes, it's shiny. It looks, you know, it adds a little something. So in classic style, I'm doing the little zigzag on his little arms and legs. So this is super easy. You see, just a wiggle back and forth, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. And then his eyes.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Filling the hole. If you're not that, you know, you're not.
Are the kids going to eat these later?
Yeah, I'm going to actually freeze them since it's, you know, we are pre-recording, guys. So I'm going to save them for actual
Christmas. That's what I'm doing with my candy canes. I'm freezing them to take with us.
There's the little nose, okay? And I'm going to try to do the little heart cheeks on this one. So it's just a little dot and pull, dot and pull, dot and pull. So you release the pressure. You see, you get these cute little hearts. And then we'll do his little smile. Like that. And I'm going to do the same little crown across the head. And there's the little gingerbread man.
Adorable.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. And then a more, I guess, adultish, I want to say.
Oh, you have a snowflake. When did you put that? I didn't even see you put it in.
Yeah, it was on the tray.
You have a...
So my last thing I want to talk about is six slits.
Six slits.
Six slits are sprinkles. Everybody's worried about sprinkles breaking their teeth. Well, six slits are actually coated chocolate, round, or you can use an M&M. I do like the pastel Easter M&Ms.
Very nice.
I saved them for, you know, for my baking.
You can't really get six slits here. They have other candies. I think maybe. It's interesting because I think like Oreo, you can find Oreo cookies, and they also have their version of Oreo cookies. They look just like Oreos, but they are called different names, under different brand.
So this is a star tip, a 16, and this is probably like, it's even easier because then this is the icing that was whipped. And so I'm just, as it's coming out, I let it touch the cookie and then I kind of tuck it under and it hides the beginning. And so I just do this tuck job on the end of each point.
This is number 16 started or big of 16? I thought it was bigger.
I think it's a 16.
But maybe it just you know, it's hard. What is it, 15?
It's 15.
Wow.
Okay, so now I've got them on all points, and then you can go and do it again. You see? Without actually like, it's not, this is way more forgiving than a line.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you could do this with buttercream. This is royal icing.
I was going to say the same thing. That if you would suggest making it also with buttercream.
So now I'm filling in the little gap in the middle.
Beautiful. Now this is not a giant cookie; it's a small cookie.
Yeah, I find that for events like at your home, this is a good size. You know, there's gift cookies, and then there's cookies that you're serving at a family event. I find that should be a smaller size.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm up since 4 o'clock this morning, so I'm a little tired.
No problem.
I love this one.
So this one here is with just a round tip coated in white sanding sugar. And then this one here
Oh, look at this.
is just
This would
dot.
be great even for like frozen thing because you added the pastel blue, so it kind of ties even like with the frozen, frozen.
Yeah, and I did a little sprinkling. It's hard to see, but I did
I see it.
a little
I see it.
sprinkling. I'll do a fast one with sanding sugar. We have 5 minutes, and then you guys can go and celebrate and enjoy your day. But you know what I want to try actually? I have my pedal tip. So you guys have a pedal tip.
Oh, pedal tip. Yes, that's a good idea.
So I'm going to move this.
Is that why you put the coupler in your piping bag? Because I saw you had a coupler, so you could then switch the piping tips.
Exactly. So here it is. And I've got it up. You see it's up and it comes out and I'm squishing it.
Oh, okay, so you're using pedal tip. So she's having the white part of the pedal tip. Do I have a pedal tip somewhere here?
You see? And so it allows squeezing and then pulling down.
Yeah, I don't have a pedal tip here.
Another way to use, if you don't have a star tip, maybe you have a pedal tip, because I think that's a popular one to have.
Yes, for the roses and
the
stuff.
pedal tip. So it's just a dot, and like I'm just squeezing, touching the cookie, and then pulling down away from it.
You gotta use what you have. It's going to create slightly different look. It's beautiful.
Again, this would work with buttercream.
And this icing, would you say it's pretty stiff?
It's whipped. So it's got a lot of air in it, and that's why I ended up with those holes on the other cookies. But you see here, it's a great way to add a bit of dimension. And now I'll be able to add my little pearl again. There.
And what did you add? What kind of shimmer did you add on the other one?
It's just like a little disco dust. I don't even honestly know if it's food safe, because I've got stuff from before. It was all it's non-toxic.
I love this one too.
Here, look, let me bring the star tip version in. You see, I think I prefer actually the pedal tip.
The pedal tip, yes, I mean, they're both beautiful. It's just a slightly different look, but it's basically same design with a different tip.
Yeah, exactly. Here, I know I said it was my last one, but I'll do the one I had in my head.
Yes, please.
Just to show you guys with sanding sugar. So sanding sugar, if you're going to decorate cookies, it's a must. If your lines are...
It's everywhere. You can find it everywhere.
Yeah. And if your lines are a bit, you're starting out and your lines are not perfect, sanding sugar will make it all okay.
Yes. But sanding sugar is not the same as granulated sugar. Just to remember that it's different. Sanding sugar has larger granules than granulated sugar. So then when you add it to your royal icing, it's not going to get dissolved with being attached to the moisture, right? Like not attached, but you know what I mean. A royal icing is it's wet. So if you add sanding sugar,
pulsing pressure. So I'm squeezing, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. I release in the direction.
Going so quickly, they're gonna think this is like done in 2 seconds. You can take your time.
Well, once you get the hang of it, cookie decoration. That's the thing I always see though in our comments. Oh, it takes so long. Well, once you get the hang of it, it isn't that bad. So here's the coating.
I think, I mean, the trick also is to maybe choose one design. If you're doing lots of snowflakes, maybe do one. And then as more you do it, faster you get, and you'll get better at that one design, which is really great.
So here again, my sanding sugar is sticking.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But if you let it dry a little bit, then you'll be able to come in a little bit more aggressively.
You don't even have. I mean, you don't have to. I mean,
well, if you wanted to,
it kind of creates like a wintry.
Yes, it gives it a wintry vibe. I find a paintbrush like this with a pointed tip is what's best. And another thing too is your empty airbrush. But if you do the empty airbrush to get the particles off, be ready, it's everywhere. But that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
can you show them all? Do you have
let me zoom back out then.
Oh, you know,
like that.
What you did. It would be nice to have them all in one.
There. So
shot.
here the gingerbread man. I like the size of gingerbread man.
So what's the size? Like, is it like 3 inches or?
Here's my ruler. Let me see here. It's
2.5?
7 centimeters.
7 centimeters. Okay, 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. It's about. It's almost 3 inches. It's almost 3 inches. It's not 3 inches. It's it's still it's less than 3 inches.
But that, you know, like you don't have to
do size as well. It's like you don't have to eat a giant 5-inch cookie or 6-inch.
You see, I find the eyes with the black. You see, this one has like he looks like he's very surprised.
Yeah, there is a difference in their expression. There is with the black.
But I mean, it's not a huge difference. But if you're making the black for the pupils anyway. Anyway, so that's.
So guys, thank you for joining us today. We both wish you Merry Christmas.
We do. We thank you guys for all the support and always being there and watching and commenting. And even if you don't comment, I know some people, you know, makes them a little bit uncomfortable. Well, we obviously see people are watching. We see the numbers. We appreciate you guys.
And
thanks for joining us.
If we miss a comment, it's not because we didn't want to
address. Yeah, we just
the comment. Sometimes we say it after after it's been posted, or
we're getting the comments on all the other videos that we post, and sometimes it just gets lost in the mix. So we apologize.
Yes.
But thanks everybody so much for everything, really.
And we will be back.
So yeah, we'll have one video before the New Year's Eve in review. We're going to do a little year in review. That should be fun.
Yes, that should be really fun. I'm looking forward to that.
So thanks, everybody.
Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you later.
Bye.